I am so excited to welcome you not only to Jacksonville, but to the launching of the podcast called The Covenant, more specifically, the Sister Covenant. And yes, I did say sister. What is the covenant, the Sister Covenant? It is a circle of friends, my friends for 20, 30, 40 plus years, your friends, all of our friends, coming together in a safe space at a time such as this. We as women of color, we are counted on to nurture our families, our children, our significant others, our spouses, our community, our corporate boardrooms, and everything in between. But who fills our cup? I think about flying, and when we get ready to take off, what is said to us first? Put your oxygen mask on first before you can assist others. And that exactly is what the Sister Covenant is all about. A safe space to encourage, to listen, to cry a little, laugh a lot, but most important, to empower and to fill our cup.
Good morning. Great Sunday morning. To God be the glory, and welcome to the Sister Covenant turns 1. Happy anniversary, everyone. This is, yay! We need streamers. We need horn blowers. I just want to thank all of you, but specifically those women, those powerful women over the last 12 months that came to this platform because I asked, because Anita asked, and Tanya asked, and all of us asked, friends, colleagues, and women and men that had something that they could share with us in this space to empower and to lift us. At a time such as this, we are going through so much that each of us don't know what the other is going through. But if you share the load, it isn't as heavy as you carrying it alone. And that is what the Sister Covenant has been about and will be about in the coming years. This is year 1, but there is so much more in store. And I thank you because you have been on this journey with us the entire way. Before we get to our podcast, our powerful show, anniversary show this morning, just a few housekeeping items to go over again. Thank you. I really sincerely thank you for purchasing your Sister Covenant merchandise. And there it is right there on your screen. It is beautiful. And we are still rocking it. So if you have not purchased your items, it is not too late. Go to the sistercovenant.com, our website, and purchase your apparel. And you see right there that for every $100 that you spend, that $10 will go directly to UNCF. Because we all know a mind is a terrible thing to waste. During this last 20 months, we have had students all over the country be displaced just for $1,000 or $500 book that they could not afford. So scholarships are important, and we know that. And at the Sister Covenant, you're going to hear coming up how we're going to partner in ensuring that students have those resources. But right now, we are still in the middle of a pandemic, and emergency resources are of the utmost importance. We have at the Sister Covenant launched our 25 challenge. Our 25 challenge is all around powerful women who get vaccinated and they lift their entire communities, their significant others, get their men and their children vaccinated too. So we're encouraging all of you to join the challenge, post a picture or a video on why you got vaccinated and why you got your booster. Use hashtags powerful women get vaccinated. Together we win. Tag at the Sister Covenant and tag 3 of your friends. Right now, I want to share a powerful PSA with all of you of some of my dearest friends.
People are dying every day from the coronavirus. I am vaccinated because I care about my family, my friends, and my community. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
Getting vaccinated is a matter of life and death. I choose to spread health and life instead of disease and death. That's why I was vaccinated. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
I got vaccinated because I wanted to live. I didn't want to be a burden on my family, on my children, on my friends to take care of me just because I could have made a very easy decision and didn't. Powerful women together, we will win.
Hi, I decided to get vaccinated because it is proven to lower the spread of the disease. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
Why did I get vaccinated? Well, for 3 reasons. The first is the CDC recommended it, and I believe in the CDC. I want to remain healthy, and they recommend that you get vaccinated so that you can remain healthy. It's safe. I have gotten the flu shot for the past 20 years, and I have never caught the flu. And I have been vaccinated with the flu shot for years. So it is safe to get vaccinated. And lastly, probably the most important reason is as a full-time caregiver for my mother, who's 75 years old with underlying issues, I needed to get vaccinated because it was important for me to be her caregiver. I must take care of myself. So it is important that we care for our elderly and that we want to protect them at all times. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
Hello, I'm Mia Jones, CEO for Agape Family Health. And it was critical for me to get vaccinated because I have the opportunity to care for my mother, who's 85 years old. And I knew that it was important for me to make sure that I was protecting her as I was going out and protecting our community. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together we win.
I got the COVID vaccine as soon as it was available to me. I had COVID-19 in March 2020, and so did my husband. As soon as the vaccine was offered, I took it, not only to protect others, but to also protect myself. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
Hello, my name is Lorraine Polite Clark. I decided to get vaccinated because as a wife, as a mother, and as someone with a whole host of folks who expect me to be healthy, they also rely on me to make prudent health care choices. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together we win.
I got vaccinated because I care about my body and I want the best health that I can possibly have for myself. I also care about my family, especially my 8-year-old grandson who is a leukemia survivor. I care about my friends and I care about my community. Together, we meet this moment and we win.
Those are all powerful women. And so are you. So we encourage you, we implore you, we beseech you in this moment to encourage everyone you know, those you love, and maybe those you just met to get vaccinated. Together, we will win. Now, I am excited to also invite you to the after conversation because you know these conversations are rich and they don't always end at 9:30. And we know that you are preparing for church and to get on with your day. But join the Sister Circle. It's easy. You just open Facebook or your phone or computer, search Sister Covenant, find the group tab. Click on group titled Sister Circle and then click join. It is just that simple. And know that every podcast for the last year, you can go back and binge and go to Facebook or YouTube and watch each and every one, or even you can go to the website, thesistercovenant.com. Now, I am over the moon excited. We have had some phenomenal women and men on this podcast, from presidents of organizations like the Links Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, aka Jack and Jill, the women, Win with Women, and others, the NCNW, my shero, Janetta B. Cole. But today it was important to me as the founder and CEO of the Sister Covenant to sit down and talk to my girls. The other two women that are the wind beneath the wings of the Sister Covenant, Tanya Grace and Dr. Anita. Tanya Grace is the spiritual contributor for the Sister Covenant. She is a spiritual and wellness contributor and a phenomenal woman. Also, Dr. Anita Petway. Dr. Anita Petway Tyler is the medical contributor for the Sister Covenant. We don't live in the same cities. Anita lives in South Florida, my old stomping grounds, and Tanya is in Tampa. But we get together and we are friends, you would think, for 20, 30, 40 years. So I want to share that conversation with you now. The anniversary, ladies. Come on in and join me in the studio. Tanya Grace and Dr. Anita. Hello, beauties. How are you?
Doing fine. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? I mean, I started having memories pop up in my phone like a week ago where we were doing our photo shoot, Tanya. Do you remember that?
I do. I can't believe a whole year has passed already.
I tell you, it's been a year too. It's been a year. I miss y'all. I miss y'all.
Miss you all too.
So, how did we get here, ladies? I don't know if our audience kind of knows the story. So I'll start with you, Tanya. How did Tanya Grace become the spiritual contributor on the Sister Covenant? How did that exactly happen?
Well, that's a very long story, but I will say this. I'm very thankful for, just our networks. And I truly believe that it was a divine connection that brought us together. And, God uses people. He uses people. If we allow ourselves to be channels of blessings, God uses people. So I'm thankful for, the friendship that is cultivated over this past year. This has been a very difficult and trying year. I know not only for myself, but for many others who are watching. But one of the things that I am truly thankful and grateful for is the gift of friendship through the sister covenant, because I have developed a bond through the sisters within this covenant circle that I really needed to lean on for support during this year. So I'm thankful.
Well,
You're on mute.
I think we can all echo those sentiments. Anita, how did we get to this sister circle? How did you accept this invitation?
Well, I know we're both laughing because one of my challenges is saying no sometimes, but I'm so grateful and happy that I said yes to this opportunity. We have a mutual friend, Lorraine, and I know that as you shared your vision with your friends about what you were going to start your podcast a year ago, you were looking for somebody who had some experience in the healthcare field, a medical expert, so to speak. And you reached out to me and we talked like we were just old friends. And then it just kind of started from there. And I do agree with Tanya. It's been an amazing journey. Every time we have the podcast, number one, I feel like I want to leap, jump, and shout and run. I'm so encouraged and so filled every single time we have a podcast. So encouraged by the amazing women who have participated as well. Pat, you and both Tanya are amazing ladies, amazing friends and sisters. What people don't see is our camaraderie, the way we share. I think the way we're in oneness and just completely amazing. But to answer your question, a year ago, you reached out, and from then, it takes us a year later, and I'm just so blessed and honored to continue to be in both of you all's lives.
I think for me, the thing that people don't know is that we didn't know one another before a year ago. And the fact that we haven't really been together a lot, like what, 3 times? 2 times?
Oh, yes. About a couple times.
Yeah, just a few times over the last year, especially Dr. Anita, but Tanya, you've moved away during this time. So we're celebrating a year that we have had the opportunity to empower women. But let's talk about ourselves. Over this year, we've had some life changes, right? We've had children to graduate. We've had moves. We've had new jobs. Some of us have retired. So let's talk about all of that because these are all life circumstances. So who wants to go? How has this year happened for you?
I'll let Dr. Anita have the floor.
Well, just, you know what? I love your glasses, by the way. I just want to tell you that those are some cute little glasses for sure.
Thank you.
But thank you for giving me the floor first. This year has been challenging. Let's just start there. It's been challenging. Being in healthcare, I've been sad at times. I've been happy at times. I've cried with patients at times. I mean, having loss in my own family over this last year has been tough. Thank you all for your support, by the way. I also am very excited, though, my new office space. We moved from about 2,000 square feet into a 12,000 square foot space. So I think that's one of the biggest things that's happened to me within the last 12 months. And it's amazing. And I feel blessed and grateful for the opportunity to continue to grow, to scale this business. So that's one of the things. My daughter went to high school So she's a ninth grader. That's another exciting thing, having a teenager in high school. Starting to think about college and the things that she wants to do when she finishes. So that's one important thing. I mean, the year has been pretty full. I've been very busy being in medicine, and so, but still feeling extremely grateful. But the biggest thing that's happened to me is this large space that I'm in now, and we have to continue to fill it with patients. So I feel blessed.
That is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
That is a blessing because you can be more of a blessing to the community.
Absolutely.
You're in South Florida, so you see a lot of patients and you see a lot of different patients and from different backgrounds and cultures. So you're going to be able to do a lot more in that big space. We can have an event in that big space.
Absolutely.
We can have a nice event. Tanya Grace, tell us about your journey over this last year as we were touching lives on the Sister Covenant, but you were living your life too. Tell us about that.
Well, the COVID pandemic has truly tried every inch and fabric of, I think, everyone's being, but I know my being. Initially when the pandemic hit, many businesses shut down, including churches. Being in healthcare myself, our hospital went on lockdown in Jacksonville. And again, the pandemic has been very difficult. The challenges that have come along with the pandemic there have been so many different challenges that we all are still navigating. But one of the things I am thankful for in my professional role as a chaplain is to provide that spiritual support in medical facilities. That has been truly a joy for me to be able to comfort patients as well as their families. And the staff that I've worked alongside have needed tremendous support. So being that bridge of spiritual support is something that I have found many have needed. I've needed it myself. So amongst all of the variety of things that I have gone through this year, my mountaintop experiences, including my valley experiences and traveling between North Florida, West Florida, South Florida. I think what is important that I've learned is to take care of myself and really take time out for self-care. And sometimes I will have to say no to projects just so that I can give to myself. And Pat, there's something that you say on every podcast, it's like going on that airplane, and I've started taking the airplane more so than driving. They always advise you to put the mask on yourself first before you try to help someone else. So that's a principle that I'm really learning to live by in this season.
Tanya, I just want to applaud you because I think, and I'll speak for me and Anita, I think you do a lot better job of that than we do. And I think it's something to be said about that, Anita. I don't know how you feel about it. This space is to empower women and help us to be our best selves, right? And we talk about filling our cup. And we do, but it runs over sometimes because we just don't have enough room. If you keep pouring the water in, it's got to go somewhere. So
Let's talk about that for a moment. Let's talk about how are we in the second year of the Sister Covenant, how are we really genuinely going to continue to empower our communities, our families, our friends, our sister friends, all around us and around the country, those we don't know, but still do what you just said, Tanya? How do we do that?
Dr. Anita?
You better stop deferring to me.
And then there's silence. Go ahead, Anita.
You know what? No problem. First of all, I think it's tough. I think, Pat, you hit on it. And I think the fact that Tanya's mindful is important as well. So I think also I think what I love about the Sister Covenant, let me first say that, is that it's authentic. I mean, we have transparency even. So when we share, when our guests share, I think that allows the women who are listening to be able to understand they're not alone. I think that's huge. And I think Tanya hit on the point of how we kind of do it for ourselves is just to be mindful. I mean, you have to remember to do it. And like one of the things that I've been doing myself and actually encouraging my staff to do as well is to do a 5-minute meditation. And the other day I tapped on someone's shoulder and I said, why don't you stop what you're doing and do a 5-minute meditation? And you can find one on YouTube or whatever, but she did it and she said she felt better. So sometimes just taking a small break in that moment just to breathe for a second actually helps. And what I think from my standpoint that is the greatest is to have women like you in my life. So I think staying connected, whatever way that means, even if it's a simple text, a phone call, tuning into the podcast or whatever it is, I think it's important to stay connected as women as well.
That's good. That's good. How about you, Tanya?
Yes. And as Dr. Anita said, having that connection is so very important because I know as a woman, as a professional, it's so easy, right? We all have been wearing this, for over a year now. And there has to come a point in time when we take our mask off and be authentic, like Dr. Anita said. And I myself want to encourage other women who may be listening. It's okay if you're not okay. It is okay. It's okay if you're not okay. It's okay to reach out to a sister. And it's so important to have those friends that you can not only just laugh with and share the good times. I have been through a very difficult journey, and Dr. Anita and Pat have been there, behind the scenes to journey alongside of me through some dark moments in my life. And I appreciate them. I thank God, first of all, because he knew what we were going to go through. And just putting, like I said, those divine connections into our lives is so valuable. But I just want to encourage other women, if you don't have friends that you can be truly authentic with and take the mask off and be naked and not ashamed and be free to be yourself, then maybe it's time to reevaluate your network of support.
You know what, Tanya, you hit it right there. I just think that was for me what God said to me so clearly a year ago, or a little better than a year ago, that in this virtual space, especially, I mean, it was the case
before. You could be at a dinner party or a concert or wherever, and people still would give you a persona. But in this virtual space, all you got to do is put a pretty picture up there on Zoom, and no one knows what's going on behind the mask. And I think for me, this is it right now. This space, being able to just connect, you know, I found myself, I don't know if you guys have this happen, but memories pop up in my phone, and I will stop right then most of the time, and I'll text that memory to that person. It could have been 3 years ago or 6 years ago, but it made me smile, and I'm just hoping it made them smile. Now I need to take the time and call them, right? But in my way, at least at that moment, I'm stopping and making an intentional connection with somebody I care about. And that's what we have to do. Send inspirational texts or motivational moments. That's what we need to be about, because this life is speeding by us. And I even have to stop and say, okay, was that this year or was that in 2019? And it's like we're in a warpness. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but I just love you all. And that was why, for me, this was the best thing. I mean, we could have planned a big celebration and all that, and that would have been great as well, but not for me. It wouldn't have filled my cup like this. Just having genuine conversation with you two that have been on this journey and hearing how life has been for you over the last year.
And I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm just so proud of you for being obedient. And I mean, the guest speakers that have come on, like Dr. Anita said earlier. I mean, we've been in this virtual space, but it has really been a circle of love where these women have brought timely words of encouragement and empowerment and motivation. Like they brought it. They brought it. They have brought it.
Amen.
They have brought it. And that's why, I mean, it's truly, it's blown my mind what you have created in your obedience. And I mean, you have other things on your plate. You could have said no to this project, but we celebrate you and honoring you for your yes, because we know it's not easy.
Well, I honor and celebrate the two of you for saying yes. And what you didn't tell them is how I threw up on you the day I met you. You're being so gracious, both of you. I stopped Anita and I threw up on you. So, I just thank both of you. So where do you want to see this friendship circle, the sister circle go in the next year? And where do you think we can take this platform? How impactful can we be? I have ideas and I'll share them, but what do you think?
So Tanya, should I defer to you since you've been deferring to me?
All right. So I know we're celebrating year number 1, and the number 1 is significant because it represents newness and movement and the possibilities that await us. So I'm really excited as you cast the vision for this upcoming year. I am excited because just when I thought, I mean, even the youngins conversation from last week, I mean, these youngins, I'm encouraged about the future because of these youngins. So I have confidence in the future because of them, knowing that they are about to take this world by storm. So that gives me comfort and encouragement and motivation. But because to me, one of my philosophies is there's no success without successors. And I see a lot of the youngins, they are going to come up. They're going to bring that next generation. They are coming up with new fire, new motivation, new passion. So I'm thankful that we've been able to bridge the gap on this platform, so that everyone has a place at the table and we can collaborate together on the projects that are before us. But I'm excited about the possibilities that are ahead of us, because this has been an exciting year number 1. So it's only going to be above and beyond that, I know.
Yes, 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 yes. Dr. Anita?
So I'm going to echo Tanya. First of all, Pat, thank you so much for your obedience. I know your obedience to God. And I appreciate even the spiritual and divine connection that we all have, how we pray together as well. I think that has brought meaning. So let's see. I think how I overall feel. Well, first, happy anniversary. So excited about that. I just know that the impact has already been great. I've heard it from some of the folks that I know, some of the women that I know who tune in regularly to the podcast. And I also know that every rung kind of goes higher and higher. So I actually look forward to hearing your vision to move forward and supporting you in that vision, serving you and the community and the women who are part of the Sister Circle and the Covenant who continue to be a part. I believe that it will continue to grow. I know we've already had some international listeners and viewers, so I believe that the impact will go further than it's gone before. I believe that your anointing will continue to grow, Pat, as you continue to open up your heart to the possibilities, and just reminding you that nothing is impossible with him, and absolutely nothing is impossible with him. So at this place where I said, encourage you to continue to be who you are in Christ, and continue to take this thing to the moon, because I know that it will continue to impact women. So I support you, and I look forward to continuing to serve you and the women as well. Tanya, also, anything, you all know. So,
Well, I see road trips. We're going to stow away in Tanya Grace's bags. She's going to think she's alone, and we're going to pop out and be with her. I see road trips. I agree with you, Tanya. I see these young, brilliant, bold women taking us places and us learning from them. And, that wasn't even a part of the vision initially. It was like, oh, they'll just be my friends, my contemporaries, 40s, 50s, whomever. No, these women are on fire. So definitely that. And I just see, relevancy is in the lens that we look through. There's so much untapped that we've not explored yet, right? So it's the sky's the limit. Like you said, the trajectory is high. It is high.
absolutely.
So we have a lot in store for us. As I've told you both, you're not getting rid of me, so don't try to block my calls, because I know where you live. Well, I don't know if I know where you live, Tanya. I can find you because I know where your parents live, so and your kids. So I got you. No, but listen, this work is a joy. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's a joy, because when you in real time can see that some young woman or some woman can connect with someone on this platform that they would not have connected with if not but for this platform, then you know you're doing God's work. You're doing what he has purposed us to do. So I thank you both for being on this journey with me. and for rolling with it. Because, you know, sometimes it's like, okay, no, God says we should do. And you're like, okay, that's what God said. Let's do it. But I just want to thank you and love you all just to the moon and back. So do you have your glasses that we can lift up a toast?
And before we leave, Dr. Anita's going to have to pass her soup to me.
You got it, girl.
Okay.
I definitely,
Thank
both
you.
both of y'all. I love it. I love it. So let's lift our glasses to the Sister Covenant, to 1 year of empowering women all around the world, and to a sister circle of friends, my friends, your friends, for 20, 30, 40 years. Newfound friends, friends we don't know yet, those that are unknown to us, but those that will live in our heart because we're opening up our heart to be what God has called and purposed us to be in this space. I love you, my sisters.
Love you.
Love you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy anniversary.
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Bye.
We did it. Bye-bye. Love you.
To both of you.
Wow. Wow. So, you know, I've been back here crying, right? I don't know about you, Anita. I've been like,
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Heartwarming.
Just beautiful. I thank you, my sister.
Right back at you.
Yep. And some of the comments, if you could just read them, they've been making me weepy as well, making me very weepy.
Yeah, don't worry. It's okay to cry. I got some tears in my eyes too.
I know. I do it often. So, you know, I'm not even embarrassed anymore because it just happens. I embarrass my kids, though. So it's okay. Well, we've been so blessed. This has been a year. It's been a challenging year. We can't say that it hasn't. But again, I just feel so good to be used in this way to help in my small way, in your small way. You help in a big way. That's what your job is, protecting our communities and keeping folks down in South Florida. And it's so diverse, your patient population down there. So this is who you are. It's a ministry, but this is a ministry. That's how I take it. And I try to care for it in that way. I'm so excited, Anita, that we have this jewel that's going to talk with us a few minutes. And we're going to bring her forward to help us in our transitions in life, but maybe impart some more wisdom. So, Nancy Allen. We know Nancy Allen to be the president and CEO of the Women's Business Enterprise Council of Florida, but she's an international speaker, coach, consultant, author, expert on women's business issues, and she's done that for some 30 years. But what I mostly liked when I read her bio was that her personal motto is connections, creativity, and courage in all endeavors. So, Nancy, are you with us this morning?
I am. Good morning and congratulations. I'm so happy to be here on your anniversary.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for being here with us. And thank you, Anita, for bringing her to the Sister Covenant. So I know you got a chance, Nancy, to hear that conversation between three friends that did not know one another prior to a year ago, you know, like 15 months ago, we did not know one another. But I am a strong believer that there's a season for everything. And that is where we are in this season. So talk to us about seasons. Talk to us about your journey. Tell us who we see in front of us, Nancy Allen.
My pleasure. Good morning, everyone. So I, when I got this question about everything is a season and to talk about seasons, it reminded me of, the whole idea of transitions, right? And I went through a major transition 4 years ago. My husband was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2017, and he was at a stage 4 when he got diagnosed, and regrettably passed away less than a year later. And as I was going through that transition and saying, how was I going to help my husband? How was I going to help my family? How was I going to help myself? I started doing some research on the whole topic of transitions. And I discovered that women go through about 50 different transitions in our lifetimes. And when I first read that, I thought, how is that possible? 50? Then, the research showed that there are basically 3 types of transitions that we go through. They're the seamless transitions. So, for example, you go from kindergarten to first grade, from middle school to high school. They're the self-selected transitions, those that we take on ourselves, right? We decide to go from girlfriend to wife to mom. We decide to go after a job. We decide to start our own business. And then there are the most difficult transitions, and those are the ones that shake us to our core, right? So you lose a loved one, you lose a job. We're going through this pandemic, right? And there are some things you can do as you're going through a transition. And some of the lessons I learned, and this was brought up in that lovely video that we all watched. Number one is to be kind to yourself, right? We have a tendency to speak to ourselves in a very harsh way, right? We would never speak to a dear friend the way sometimes we speak to ourselves. So we need to be kind to ourselves. A second lesson is gratitude, right? If you live in gratitude and in anticipation of gratitude, that's going to change your whole mindset. Everyone, you'll be happier, and everyone around you will be happier too. And then the third thing, something that helps me, is that I have positive affirmations and quotes everywhere around my house. So in the morning, as I'm getting dressed, I can see the positive affirmations and quotes that I have. And the really interesting thing is our subconscious mind sees things that we don't even intentionally see. So if you surround yourself with these quotes, these affirmations, you will get the benefit of them, even if you don't stop and read those quotes, right? And for example, right next to my kitchen sink, where I see it and sometimes don't see it on a regular basis, I have a quote that says, "May your hands be so busy catching blessings that they don't have the capacity to hold on to things that no longer serve you." And I believe that we need to have that kind of attitude.
Wow, I was so busy writing, Nancy. You said a lot. I'm gonna have to get the Cliff Note version of what you said. So I'm really not crazy. 50 transitions for real?
50 transitions.
Okay. I'm on number 49, I think, maybe. I'm not sure. I think about this last year. My son graduated, major transition. I retired. I think you heard that. And my husband likes to say she's busier than she's ever been, but she's retired. But that's a good thing, right? Because we're busy, hopefully busying our hands to catch those blessings. And that's what I feel this is about. And I don't try not to get emotional. I think I share with you, we had to put our dog down. So my beloved Sasha of 16 years, she was the only other woman in the house, and her bed was right by my desk. And I was just so weepy because I kept hoping she would just go to sleep. And she wouldn't. She kept rallying because she didn't want to leave me because she knew it was going to be tough. And so I had to give her permission to do that. So transitions are real, right? They are real. They are real. Anita, let me get myself together. You go ahead.
I'm weepy too, so don't worry. So sorry about the loss of Sasha. I know last week was hard. So Nancy, you're the absolute best, by the way. And I'd like to just kind of continue the conversation a little bit on transitions. We heard a little bit about how you cope with your own transitions. And I actually met you around the time you lost your husband. So you're just amazing to me, like Pat is as well. But for those ladies who are listening, what advice would you give just to help them to move through their transition to what's next for them?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and it allows me to talk about a specific program that I can take some women through. And we start off by really paying attention to the fact that a transition means it's no longer this and not yet that. And the transition happens in that space. So if you think of the sentence, no longer this, and you put 3 ellipses, ... not yet that, the transition is that space, right? And I think that there are 5 elements to what I call an elegant transition. And elegant in the sense that you choose this transition. The first is to acknowledge that you're in transition. Sometimes we're going through things and we just kind of power through it. We're not really acknowledging the transition. The second thing is to accept it, because you can acknowledge up one way and down the other, but if you don't accept and step into that space, right, you're going to get stuck in the it's no longer this and woe is me and what's happening and why is this happening, right? So secondly, you need to acknowledge, accept that you're in this transition. The third is to recognize that, you've probably been in a similar position before, and to see how you can adapt your strengths and your skills, what you did to move through maybe a similar transition in the past, to own that you have that power. So the fourth thing is what this group is all about, right? It's all about accountability and support. And yes, we can go through a transition ourselves, but it's so much better when you have a trusted friend, a group, a coach, a group, of people like you who are going through the same thing, right? So they will hold you accountable. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to say, okay, this week I'm going to do this, and know that at the end of the week, you're going to be held accountable for doing this thing. That's a really great motivator. And the fifth element, which kind of weaves through the whole of transitions, is your attitude or your mindset, right? An attitude of gratitude is really, really important. An attitude that says, yes, this is a difficult time and I'm going to be weepy about this, and that's understandable. But I also know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, right? I also know that I am going to, with the help of my sisters, with the help of a coach or a therapist, I'm going to get through this. So those are the 5 elements. First, you acknowledge, you accept and step into the transition, adapt your skills, find some kind of accountability, and then throughout it all, just have a really great attitude.
So Nancy, what do you say to that woman, that friend who is really just trying to find her purpose in life and the meaning of life for her?
Yeah, and this again, a really great question that has, I think, kind of a simple answer, right? So I worked with a coach a while ago who used to say that you cannot see the label of the jar you're in. When we do something and we think that, and we're good at it, we think everybody has that skill, everybody has that gift. So one of the things that you can actually do is just stop and ask some friends, what do you think I'm really good at? Am I a good listener? Am I a good connector? You can also, there's a really great assessment called the Strengths Finders. And doing that assessment, it's free. You can find it online. Will highlight your top 5 strengths, and your strengths can turn into your purpose, as well as your core values. So, Pat, you mentioned, in the intro, that my core values are connection, creativity, and courage in all endeavors. And I like to live my life that way, right? I like to know that I'm staying connected, that I'm creative in everything that I do, and that I'm courageous in what I do. And I've been able to, because of my core values, find something that gives me purpose on a daily basis. So I would say that if you're trying to find purpose and the meaning of life, go back and look at your core values. What is it that's really, really important to you? And what can you do that is going to promote those core values on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, right? Give you a bigger vision of things.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, me too. So if we notice behind Nancy, she has a quote, make allies and believers. So we know that that's one of the quotes that is one of your favorites. Can you share with us why?
Yes, and thank you, Anita, for giving me the chance to talk about this. The quote comes from my husband, Joseph Allen. And I was married about 28 years at the time that he sent this to me in a text. And here's the context of this. My office was the host counsel for a national event, and we were going to be hosting 3,000 business women in Orlando. And we had been planning this thing for a year. And as the date of the event started approaching, I got, more and more nervous. And I remember, flying into Orlando. And as I got off the plane, I sent my husband a text message that said, I've arrived safely and I'm on my way to the hotel. And my husband texted back to me, good luck, make allies and believers. And that just took the edge of my nervousness away. And when I got on the stage to welcome everybody to the event, I said that. I said, my husband has given me permission and given me this goal of making allies and believers. And I know I can do that here. And I know you can do that here. And I had hundreds of women come up to me and say, is that really true? Or did you just make that up? And so I pulled out my phone and I showed them the text message. And I have really lived my life in that sense. And I encourage all of you to do that as well. If you're in business looking to grow your business, people do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. How can you do that? By making allies and believers, right? If you're an employee looking to get a promotion, again, make allies and believers. Have people speak about you on your behalf to the right people. And the really good news is that women are very, very good at making allies and believers. We just sometimes have to remember and be intentional about it.
Wow. I love that, Nancy. I'm writing as you're speaking.
Good.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. I love it too. And we know that you're an amazing business coach, as we can hear. Amazing coach, period. And you've written some books. Mm-hmm. You're an author as well. So 2 of your books, and I know you recently released one, The Decision to Start, 25 Tips for a Second Career as a Woman Business Owner, which can be found on Amazon. And then you have a second book titled The Decision to Scale, 25 Tips for Women-Owned Businesses Looking to Grow. Thank you for my book. So would you please share some nuggets to the women that are listening?
Yes, and thanks for that. I'm very proud of those 2 books that are just short resource books, right? They're both just 25 tips. But I'll share with the audience that's listening, whether you want to grow your business, scale your business, or whether you want to even think about starting a business. The thing that you have to really have a handle on are limiting beliefs, right? Limiting beliefs are that we all have these limiting beliefs, right? And it's really that voice that you hear that says, why are you doing this? Who do you think you are? You're too old. That's not going to work. We've all heard that voice, right? And sometimes that's what's holding us back, are these limiting beliefs. The good news is that there's a really easy way, and I talk about this in that the Decision to Scale book. There's an exercise called the Gremlin exercise, and what you can do is just pull out a piece of paper and make a drawing, of some face, and put some thought bubbles around that drawing. And I invite you to name that gremlin, and then keep that gremlin someplace where you're going to see it for about a week. Every day, a couple of times a day, you'll see that gremlin, and you'll begin to recognize those voices. And the thing to say is, thank you. I heard you. I understand that you're trying to protect me. And that's what those limiting values are all about, right? Those limiting beliefs, are all about. It's about protection. Our bodies, our brain wants us to survive. And whenever there's something new, something challenging, something scary, our brain says, no, wait, I've never seen this before. I don't think I can do this. And that's what the voices that we hear. So I suggest that you say, thank you, so-and-so, whatever you've named your gremlin. I hear you. I know you want to protect me, but I'm going to move forward. I know that I can do this. And bit by bit, you begin to chip away at those limiting beliefs. And that allows you to really grow. So that's my tip, control your limiting beliefs.
Nancy, I cannot wait to read your books.
Thank you.
And our audience, I wish I was like Oprah in this moment. Wouldn't that be awesome for the year to say, you get a book, you get a book, you get a book. Well, what we're going to do is make sure your book link is on the Sister Covenant. So all of our listeners right now can click on it and go to Amazon and get the book. And I will be the first one to do that. Nancy, our time, as always, as we say, it's a lot. And we are ending the time with you this morning, but you got to do two things. Promise us you'll come back.
My pleasure. I'd love to come back.
And then tell us, what do you do to balance? What do you do to fill your cup?
Mm-hmm. It has to go back to my core values, right? So I have the good fortune of working with women and connecting with women on a daily basis through what I do professionally. My other core value is creativity. And this year, I intentionally hired an art coach, and I meet with her a couple of times a week. It's sacrosanct. It's in my calendar on Monday afternoons and Wednesday early evening that I meet with my art coach, Nadine Hamill, and we do projects together. And that takes me away from my day-to-day business development focus, but it also opens space in my life for things that challenge me, right? I'm not an artist, but Nadine will challenge me to do a self-portrait or to complete a project. And that is really, really helpful. So I think that's how I fill my cup, right? I try to be outside every day. I have a lovely garden, so I like to eat breakfast and lunch in my garden. And then twice a week, look forward to time with my art coach.
That is truly amazing. We can see a portion of your garden right there, so we know that it's beautiful. So there's a third thing. You have to invite us to your garden. So come back and invite us to your garden.
Absolutely. I'll film from my garden. How's that?
That is awesome. Well, we're going to do another toast, and we want you a part of our toast. Do you have a cup near you?
I have a big glass right here near me. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, if you would like, we're putting you on the spot here, but you have beautiful words, so I know you can handle it. Would you like to toast the Sister Covenant?
I would, and I thank you for that honor. And I bless you all, and I remind you that in every way possible, make allies and believers, because that will change your life. You will change the lives of others as well as change your lives. Here's to the Sister Covenant. Thank you.
My bottle says wine, antioxidant water. So it is kind of wine, but it is definitely exactly what's needed. Nancy, we thank you. Thank you for being with us this morning. Dr. Anita, I love you to the moon and back.
I love you too.
We have an amazing staff. Love Tanya Grace. She couldn't be with us this morning, but we have an amazing young folks that are with us every Sunday behind the scenes. We tried to get them to come up on the camera this morning, and they refused. They refused, but can't say enough about Skyrocket Media, Justice Hauser, and JC Mitchell. They are truly amazing young people in college that Justice will be graduating in the spring, and JC is a junior, and they make us look good. But more than that, they are talented, brilliant, and humble. And so I am just so blessed to have them in my life. They definitely filled my cup. Ladies and men, because men watch the Sister Covenant too, we again want to thank you for being a part of this ministry, as I refer to it, and on this journey with us. And we encourage you to stay positive, make allies and believers, as Nancy just told us, because that is how we're going to navigate this space together and bring us all together. So I want you to watch a powerful PSA on why powerful women get vaccinated with more of my friends. We won't have a sister circle conversation after this week because it has been so full, but please stay around and watch that powerful PSA, and we will see you in 2 weeks on the Sister Covenant. More excitement for the next year. I promise you that, but I promise you that we're going to do it together. So as always, be bold, be brilliant, be beautiful and brave, my sisters, and be blessed.
My name is Dr. Courtney Owens. I chose to get vaccinated because as an emergency medicine physician, I've had the unfortunate responsibility of holding the hand of a young, healthy, 30-year-old man as he took his last breath and died of COVID-19. I then had to tell his own mother over the phone that she would never get to hold his hand again. This death and thousands of others could have easily been prevented with vaccinations. Vaccinations are the one thing that have been proven, along with masking and social distancing, to be safe and to be effective at preventing COVID-19. Take responsibility for yourself, for your family, and for your community. Get vaccinated. Strong women get vaccinated. Together, we can.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kim Barbell Johnson. I'm a family physician and a clinical research scientist. As a physician and a scientist, I chose to get vaccinated because I understood the science enough to extinguish the politics from this pandemic. I also chose to improve my odds of survival in this pandemic for my children, for my parents, and my community. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
I'm Dr. Cheryl Holder. I'm an internist. a caregiver of a 92-year-old. I teach medical students. I care for patients with immunodeficiency conditions like HIV and AIDS. I care about the community. I'm a scientist. I believe the science. I trust the science. Vaccines work. Vaccines are safe and effective. Vaccines protect you from severe disease and death. Get vaccinated. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
I got vaccinated early this year because it was the only hope of making sure that I was safe, that my family was safe, that if I did become COVID positive, I had all the tools in me or all the medicine in me to help save my life. And it did just that. In July, early July, I tested positive for COVID, although I had been vaccinated, and I was hospitalized for 5 days. And I can tell you that being vaccinated helped to save my life. Doctors said that to me, and I know that to be true. I think it is so important to get vaccinated. I think I'm living proof that if you're vaccinated, you can fight this thing, this new variant, the Delta variant, that is so powerful. I have family members right now in the hospital that are COVID positive. I've had 2 family members to pass from COVID. So please, please don't hesitate. Get vaccinated. It could save your life. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
I am a wife, mother to 4 adult children, and nana to 9 grandchildren. My husband and I decided to get vaccinated early because our family is our world. We wanted to make sure our family and our children were protected. So we decided early to get vaccinated. However, some of my adult children did not believe or see the need in getting vaccinated until my youngest child and only daughter, mother of 2 beautiful children, was suddenly stricken with COVID. She was hospitalized for 2 weeks, battling for her life, at the brink of ventilation. We are a strong family of faith. We had family and friends praying all across the country. We are so grateful to the wonderful doctors and medical personnel that helped her to recover and leave the hospital. Her message after that horrific experience to all of her contemporary 30-somethings was simple. You don't want to go through this. COVID is no joke. Get vaccinated. That's why we promote vaccination. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we can meet this moment and win.
I decided to get vaccinated because I love my neighbors. I love my community. I wanted to protect myself and I wanted to protect my family. And frankly, as a cancer survivor, there are a lot of vulnerable people out there, some that can't get vaccinated at all. So I would encourage everybody out there to get vaccinated. Powerful women get vaccinated, and together we win.
My vaccination why stems from my experience with sickness and loss. And it began at a very early age when I learned that my mom contracted rheumatic fever as a little girl. And as a result, she lived a life infiltrated by medical issues and ultimately a much earlier death than was necessary. It's easy to look at a decision to get vaccinated from a narrow lens when you haven't lived the life of unnecessary hardship that resulted from something that could have been prevented. I understand and value personal choice when it doesn't infringe on the health and safety of others. But the reality is, in this situation, those that remain unvaccinated are preventing herd immunity. And as a result, we are losing lives. I would appeal to the humanity of every individual that remains on the fence about being vaccinated to be a lifesaver, literally and figuratively. And together, we meet this moment and we win.
Greetings. As an IT professional, community servant, and COVID-19 survivor, I chose to get vaccinated to protect myself, my family, friends, and our great community. The horrible encounter experienced with this coronavirus caused me to get vaccinated. My faith in God over fear of a shot encouraged me to get vaccinated. My desire to live and not die quickened me to get vaccinated. Powerful women care about their community. Get vaccinated. Together.
I decided to get vaccinated because I was very eager and excited to get back to normal life. I'm a college student, and I think most people can agree that college is a very important part of your development. And so I was really excited to get back to normal life. And then I also recognize that you cannot win a pandemic or beat a pandemic with a selfish mindset. And I understand that we are all in this together. And ultimately, I believe that powerful women get vaccinated, and we are in this together.
Hello, I'm Mia Jones, CEO for Agape Family Health. And it was critical for me to get vaccinated because I have the opportunity to care for my mother, who's 85 years old. And I knew that it was important for me to make sure that I was protecting her as I was going out and protecting our community. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together we win.
People are dying every day from the coronavirus. I am vaccinated because I care about my family, my friends, and my community. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
I got vaccinated and my children got vaccinated to protect our families, our friends, our community. It is a scientific fact that the COVID-19 vaccine is effective. It reduces the chances of you both getting and spreading the COVID-19 virus. And even if you do get it, it reduces the chances of you getting seriously ill. So why did I get the vaccine? Because I care about the people around me. Powerful women get vaccinated. Together, we win.
Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Winbush. I am 24 years old, and as a young person living currently in a multi-generational household with parents who are in their 60s and a grandfather who is in his early 90s, I felt like it was necessary to get vaccinated just because of the protection that it offered both me and the people that I care about, that I live with. I know that as people, as citizens in this world, we are all living with this pandemic, and it's important to realize that we are a part of the solution. It's bigger than us, and it's important that we can play our part to get vaccinated and help achieve a solution in a world where COVID-19 has dissipated. So we know that powerful women get vaccinated. Together we win.
I got vaccinated because I saw firsthand how COVID-19 makes the body feel when I tested positive for the virus back in January. I've also had family and friends test positive, some of which have been hospitalized and had to fight for their lives. I want to be safe, I want those around me to be safe, and I want you to be safe as well. Remember, powerful women get vaccinated. Together we win.